Welcome back. So this is going to be a very quick video talking about the Underbarrel launcher, the M203, and I want to have an honest conversation about whether or not somebody should or should not use it. I should say right off the bat that I don't think you need one on every gun on your squad, but it does give you a little bit of extra utility. Taking a look at the attachment, you have different options to choose from. Let's start at the top. You have high explosive rounds, incendiary rounds, smoke screen, uh, snapshot grenades, flash grenades, and at last is stun grenades. You have different utility that you can use. I'm not suggesting that you have, like, say, stun grenades with extra stun grenades, but what I am saying is if you like running stun grenades and you think stun grenades are the best, so be it. Put on stun grenades, but you have the option to carry with you smoke grenades to get you out of a tough situation, or whatever else that you may think from these choices. You actually have an extra option to carry more utility. Now, I will say right off the bat, I know that the biggest downside of using the M203 is that it's only available to Modern Warfare gun, which limits you to only the Modern Warfare guns. They're not very good. Out of all of these, I think the M4A1, the Kilo, I hear people talking about the Kilo a little bit, but even that, it's not very reliable. Ram 7 people sometimes still use it. Um, Let me see. There's not too many options of guns that are actually viable. The Growl, you can run it on the ground. And I mean, that's kind of it. Like, very poor choices that you have available. M13, of course, but very poor choices that you have available. So it is a big downside. The gun is going to kill slower, possibly have worse recoil, and taking away an undergrip, especially commando, is going to make it even less controllable. But let's talk about the advantages. So from the top, the high explosive one, so far I can't find a viable reason to use it. It does too little damage. The blast radius is so small that even if you tried using Combat Scout or anything, there's really no point to it. Might as well run an RPG. Incendiary round is going to be somewhat useful. It's useful if you want to finish off a down, but you're not running throwing knives. It's also more helpful than running throwing knives if you're going to finish off a down, because you with the thermite damage, it can slow people from pushing you if a team tries to push you. And in addition to that, if somebody's trying to push, you can get a hit marker, and with Combat Scout, it'll let you know if there's an extra enemy or if there's two extra enemies. So it can give you a little bit more information. I have used it a little bit successfully, but the damage radius is just pretty small. I feel like it doesn't last too long, but there are some instances where it can be useful. So say, for instance, somebody's camping in a very small spot and you're trying to get them out of there. An RPG would work just as well, but an incendiary round could replace that, so you don't necessarily need to have an RPG on you. You can have a sniper or something else, and it can get somebody out of a tough situation. Smokescreen is going to be one of the most important ones. Obviously, you can run a thermal, but the more than likely, you're going to use it to get yourself out of a bad situation or to get your team out of a bad situation. If you need to rotate, you also don't need to run sleight of hand to increase the reload speed, because the smoke lasts long enough that you can get enough grenades out. It can help you cross a danger area. Let me see. It can also give you a little bit of distraction if you're trying to draw somebody's attention away from the squad. But we all know how smokes work and how useful they can be. Also, if you're trying to grab your loadout and you're trying to clear some room for your teammate to grab their loadout or something like that. Snapshots. Not generally useful, however, they did receive a buff to increase their range. The main things that I've been able to use them with is going to be to check to see if anybody else is within a building, for obvious reasons. You can use them with FMJ as a perk on the same gun. And if a team is getting ready to get forced out of the gas, one of the main things that you can do to avoid getting gas kept is to take a different angle to try to be unpredictable on how you exit the building. Well, with the snapshot grenade, if you know that the team's going to get forced out and you snapshot, then you can already anticipate which directions that they're going to jump out, and it can help you gas keep. Lastly is, and this is just experimental, if you're in a position such as tents on Rebirth Island, and which is a very, very difficult area to hold because there's so many angles, and it's very easy late game for a solo to just sneak up behind, down and thirst one of your teammates. What you can do is pop a munitions box, and with sleight of hand start popping out snapshot grenades. Grab the munitions, and then continue, end up shooting out about like 11, 12, something like that, snapshot grenades, which will allow you to be able to see everybody coming through that tent area, and most of those buildings are going to be easy to shoot through. Next is flash grenade. If you're going to be running this one, you almost necessarily have to run sleight of hand, because the duration of the flash is so short that if you don't run sleight of hand, they're going to be able to reacquire the target, and that could be all it takes for them to get it down on one of your teammates. For this continue with the flash though. The reason why I run this one the most is because if you do have sleight of hand and you're pushing with a team, you can essentially blind the entire enemy team throughout the entire fight. So say you're pushing into a building, you can start launching in flash grenades, and it will only take about 3 or 4 for your team to get the wipe, but you can just keep pouring in flash grenades for the entire time while your team is cleaning it up. Stun grenades, you don't need sleight of hand, although it can help. Obviously, it can help if you're gas keeping somebody. You can just pop a stun, and they did get nerfed a little bit, so sleight of hand could be useful, but I don't necessarily think you need it. Again, like I said, you can use it to gas keep. You can use it to push a building. If your squad is in a gunfight, it can help out a little bit. I normally use it as an all-purpose round. The main reason is because flash needs sleight of hand. Recon is situational. Smokescreen can help, but if my tactical that I'm using is, say for instance, if I'm already running smokes, or if I'm running something like gas grenades or something like that, smokes aren't necessarily going to be the most helpful. So it's just an all-around tactical to put on your gun. But summing everything up, the Underbarrel launcher gives you a lot of utility, but you don't need everybody on your team running it. The idea then is that somebody is always going to have heartbeat, because this is Warzone. So one of your teammates is always going to have heartbeat, but from that point on, you can start mixing it up. So say you're running a trio, the next person can have stims, next person can have stuns. So you got 3 tacticals being used, right? Well, you can have Underbarrel smokes, so that makes 4 tacticals, and then maybe somebody else running Underbarrel snapshots or something like that. So you're able to get about half of the tacticals in the game all on one squad. If you're running quads, then you can have a chance to get all these tacticals. So heartbeat sensor, stim, gas grenades, so that's 3, and let's say decoy, so that's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then underbarrel snapshot, underbarrel smoke, underbarrel stun, underbarrel flash. So technically you have the possibility to have all 8 tacticals on your person. If one person has clays, another person C4, another person thermites and semtex, you're able to get almost all of the utility that you can possibly have in the game, all within one squad. So that's the benefit. It does not always help, but when it does, when you need that smoke grenade, or when you need those stuns or flashes or whatever it is, they really come in handy. They really come in handy. But that's going to be the end of the video. I mean, I hope that you can see in some of the gameplay that I've posted some reasons to use some of these. I constantly mix it up. The ones that I'm trying right now are going to be the incendiary and the snapshot. I've used stuns, flashes, and smokes to great success. But if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.